Hello, my PBC family and friends. Pastor Brian here with another quick bite, living the Word. Today we're going to be in Joshua chapter 1. This is kind of that moment when it's the transfer of power from Moses to Joshua. And there's a famous verse that we read and we hear all the time that I think is appropriate in the time in which we live. But I think there's something to understand about this verse as well, or this passage, if I can put it that way. So I want to start by reading the verse itself. So if we turn to Joshua chapter 1, verse 9, and we will read the words here. From Moses to Joshua as he's getting ready to turn, in essence, the reins over, so to speak, to Joshua to lead the people. And this is what he has to say to him. It says, and this, of course, God's commission, right? I shouldn't say Moses, as God is transferring the power over to Joshua, and Moses and after Moses' passing. And these are the words we read in Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. We read these words from the Lord to Joshua. It says, "Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest." Now we hear that all the time. We hear that quoted all the time. People are encouraging us with those words all the time. We read them on signs and things like this, right? That be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest. Beautiful passage, beautiful encouragement, and honestly, words that we should take to heart today, that we should be strong and courageous because our God is with us. We talked about that yesterday in our Sunday morning message. But you remember, or maybe day for yesterday, whatever it is. But anyway, this past Sunday, how God is present. He's with us. God is present. And so we can have that strength and that courage knowing that God is with us. But I want you to understand something. This is actually the third time in 4 verses that the Lord uses these words to Joshua. Backing up now, if you would, to verse 6, we read these words, right? It says, "Be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide an inheritance the land, which I swear unto their fathers to give them." So again, he's encouraging them, be strong and of courage, because I, in essence, right, am doing something through you. I'm doing a work through you. I'm going to divide an inheritance unto my people that I promised to the fathers. So too he is speaking to us today to be strong and of good courage. Why? Because he is doing a work through us. He has a work for us to walk in. And so he's going to do something through us. He's on the throne and he's working. And there it says, don't fear what? I mean, in essence, he's saying, be strong and of good courage. Don't fear who? The people. Even my people, don't fear them. Why? Because I am working, and I am doing what I need to do to divide to them what they need, to do the work for them that they need, to give them what they need, if I can put it to you that way. But then it goes on in verse 7. It says, again, one more time, only be thou strong and very courageous. There it is again. Be strong and courageous. Very courageous, right? And now what does he say in this one? He says, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. This is so amazing. He's like, listen, here's the point. Be strong and courageous. And where's your strength and courage going to come from? When you observe to do my law. Now, I don't want to get into this works-based law trip with you guys this morning, but understand that God still desires his people to be obedient unto him, to do what he has commanded. Jesus himself said that, right? If you love me, you'll keep my commands. So he says here again, be strong and courageous, very courageous, to continue to do what you know is right in my eyes, despite what anyone else may think. And this is my encouragement for us today again. Brothers and sisters, we've got to be willing to do what is right in the eyes of the Lord. And I love, by the way, in this how he says neither to turn to the left hand nor to the right hand. Why is that so important? Because so many of us are focused on left and right nowadays that we don't recognize that God is right in the middle. He has a place for us to walk, a narrow way. We don't need to turn left or right, try to figure out our balance there. Our balance is right in the middle where God is at. Our balance is right on that narrow path where God walks. So we don't need to worry about the people. We don't need to worry about anything else but what? Observing what God has commanded us to do, to walk where he's called us to walk. And then as we get now down to the third time he says this, what we started at this morning, he says in verse 8, he says, "This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night." There it is, brothers and sisters. Are you in the Word? Are you meditating in the Word day and night? That thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then shalt have good success. So here's where the success comes from. It's in doing it God's way, not doing it our way, not doing it the way that's the most popular way, the most comfortable way, or the most exciting way. Doing what is right, whether God's people are going to do it right or not, doing it right, whether the world's doing it right or not, doing it God's way. And that's where we have strength and courage. And then he says it one more time. Have I not commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be dismayed. So in other words, don't be afraid of what's going to come from doing the right things. Don't be dismayed by what's going to happen if you do the right things. For the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest. What an amazing encouragement for us. God is with us if we would do it God's way. It's amazing to me how many times we see people try to do it their own way and then act like, where was God when I needed him? Well, maybe if you would have done it the way God had directed you to do it, observed the way God had told you to observe his word and to follow him, then perhaps you would not have gotten lost out there in that forest. It kind of reminds me of that. You give somebody directions and turn-by-turn directions, and they decide to try to do it their own way. And then they call you and say, I'm lost. Well, yeah, because you didn't follow the directions I gave you. I think this is how the Lord is looking at his church today. I have directed you. Follow my directions, and you won't find yourself off that path. I love you. We love you. God loves you. And God's got this.